The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this show. Welcome back. I'm D Nice, and to start out with, we have a call-in number that you can comment, you can have ideas and topics thrown at us, anything you want to do. This is your hour. Thank you for inviting us into your living room. That number is 323-293-3375. Once again, 323-293-3375. And those of you that know you're watching us on demand, that's correct, because we are in demand here. Always bringing you something for your eardrums to where it can get to your head and your heart and change your life. That's what it's all about. And you can watch us here on www.morrismedialive.com. So tell a friend. Once again, I'm still D Nice. And on this edition, I brought in a friend of mine who I've been knowing for a long time. We've worked together. We've done concerts together. We've done a lot of production together. And so I get to know her pace. And so here she is today to help me pace out this show. Let me help introduce this young lady who is also not even in this field of production. So she's stretching outside to help us out, because she is in the aerospace industry. She's been in there for a long time. The aerospace industry, those that deal with the planes, the jets, the missiles, those instruments of war. I always tease her. That's what she's all about. So, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Miss M, to us that know the radio and television aspect. And for those that don't know her, we're just calling her Miss Monica. Miss Monica, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing
glad
up.
To be here.
It's a holiday season, and that's what gives us another definition, another parameter, because it's the end of the year. We just left Thanksgiving. We're going through some of the aftermath of that. The traffic is crazy.
Yes.
Now airports are flooded. Now they're getting ready to level out, and then they're going to get crazy again within the next, couple of weeks when it's Christmas again.
That's right. And
then they get over Christmas, and 2 days later, something like that
is New Year's.
So I want to talk today a little bit about, because a friend of ours, those of us that know and love Stacy and know her dad, Pops. Pops passed away last week, and they interned him, and he was everybody's dad. Yeah. Pops was he just loved life. He loved love, and he was a artist back in the day. He was a recording artist.
Yes,
and he spent his life just taking care of his family, looking after his family.
He did.
And so that was a shock to see, because at 80, something in his mid-80s, he was still doing it.
He was.
And to get the call that he's no longer with us. And so there's a lot of people this year at this time that's going through things. And, we were just at his birthday party a couple months prior. Yeah,
his birthday.
So, we were talking about that earlier today, how, things just hit you. Life as a reality hits you and just throws whatever plans you have into another orbit. So those that are able to just have a plan B, plan C, and on are the ones that basically can get through it.
That's true.
But I would like to leave today with people being able to say, wait a second, I have this inside. Maybe I can dig deep in myself and find some other levels to where I don't get stuck.
That's
because
right.
It's hard once you get stuck.
That's right. People have to realize that they control their own destiny.
That's hard to do.
You can't allow somebody else to control your destiny, make you feel like they are going to control how you feel, how you're going to think, how you're going to react. You take control of that. Right. If you decide that you're going to move forward, you move forward. If you decide you're going to be happy, you be happy. And I've lived by that philosophy.
No, I know you're like that. Like I said, for working together with you and being able to get things done. I also joke and tell you, you're one of the selfishest people I know because you're going to make sure you come first.
Take care, number one.
Yeah, you're going to make sure that you come out first. While me on the other half of the spectrum, and here's what people look at us when they've been seeing us through years and doing the partnership, and they're looking like, okay, I'm the one that wants to give everybody everything and said, okay, you don't have anything? Let me not give you a fish. Let me teach you how to fish. So I'm over here teaching everybody how to fish. And so it's taking from my time, but yet and still I'm over here running my own program, doing different things. And they're watching me looking like an octopus. At the end of the day, I'm like, I wonder why I'm so mentally drained all the time. But then again, I can't stop. And I got to continue. And so I guess there is some kind of kudos for being a personality like you have. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself first. If it's not about you, it's like, I'll get back to what you're talking about.
I'll get back with you later.
So as you guys might have known, many years I've been working with this woman for major years. And many times I just want to you know what I'm saying, sit back and say, you know what? Don't even call me. Lose my number, okay? Because I can't deal with that part of the personality right now. I'm trying to give away to the masses and train the masses, and you're over there talking about me. And I'm sitting there going, okay, you and yours.
Yeah, this team has acted like brother and sister for about 25, 30 years.
Yeah, people have always wondered who we were. When they see us come into place and we just light it up, we just do what we do.
Yeah.
We get in there, look at the scenario. We've worked with some of the top churches with their videos. We train the kids on how to do video. You know, we've done things in LA in this video market. Everybody knows from the Black Expo, when we were in the Black Expo, this lady meets Harold Hambrick, who had just gotten the Black Expo turned over for Barbara Lindsay.
Yes.
And she meets him, where was it, at the Continental?
At the old Continental Cable.
Well, we had a cable show there. And she says, I need you to meet this guy. This guy's doing this. And so I met him. First day he met me, he's like, hey, Junior, call me Junior. And I'm like, Junior, you know what I'm saying? So from there, he was like my play dad. Yeah, Harold Hambrick, kudos to him. He's no longer with us. Another one that's going on. But he was doing the Black Expo, handling it.
He was.
So I told him, we talked about what we were doing with Women of Prominence. So they invited us in. They sponsored us every year at the Women of Prominence. So we would have the big 8x10 tent inside.
It was plush.
Yeah, laced out, and it looked like a living room. And that's what the TV. And people were like, "Well, what are you selling? We're not selling anything." It was a pamper room for women.
Yes, it was. It was a hospitality suite.
It was a hospitality suite. Yeah,
it had a couch in there. It had lounging facilities. It had a bar set up in there. The TV was hooked up. Yeah. You could just sit there and just chill out.
Yeah. And I would be on the side doing interviews. I mean, you know, we had hosts like Linda Coleman Willis and some of the other ladies were doing the interviews, and I was running the camera. So that was a great place for me to be able to get interviews for upcoming shows we had. We were doing some shows constantly.
And it was nice. It was blue and white stripe. It had a canopy over the top and the sides. You could close it off if you wanted to.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
In the middle of the convention center, in our spot, and everybody knew about the Women of Prominence. And then they would have the part where they would have the, the weddings. And so we go out there on stage and cover the weddings. And it was funny working with Bruce on that one there. And then one year, when it was very stuck out of my head, because Harold got sick.
Yeah.
And they didn't know if they were going to do it. And they had parted company with a few companies. And so it was really one of those that he was like, just got out of the hospital. And he was like, okay, dude, I got to pull this off. But I don't know how I'm going to pull this. So I told him, I had been working with John, hats off to John. And John was working with Lewis Johnson, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And John Lewis. And so he was a great guitarist. So he knew Lewis Johnson, so from the Brothers Johnson.
Yeah.
So they were always doing some things together. So I told him what we wanted to do one day. And so John says, I'm going over to see Lewis Knight, you know what I'm saying, who was the bass player in the Brothers Johnson group. So I tell John, I was like, you know what? Let's do something. You guys have been around. Brothers Johnson have been around for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Let's give you guys a Lifetime Achievement Award. And so, you know what I'm saying? That was like, everybody got up on it. So we were supposed to bring in George and Lewis together to try to put this together for the Black Expo that year. And we had like a month out. And so I went to Harold and I said, Harold, I just got this harebrained scheme that we can put the Brothers Johnson, Women of Promise wants to give them a Lifetime Achievement Award, but we can bring them on stage and whatever, because they had been broke up since they left Quincy.
Yes.
Yeah, because everybody, they were tripping doing their own. Oh, man, they were just not even talking.
Rivalry is.
They weren't even talking. They were doing, George was doing concerts around the country.
Yes.
Brother Johnson concerts around the country, and they would call Lewis and say, "Why aren't you here?" And he's like, "I didn't know nothing about it." There was some crazy man.
That's what siblings do to each other.
But see, God just gave us favor because we finally got them all under it. So when I went and took it to, George came in and we talked about it. He said, "It sounds good to me." He said, "But you know what? I'm going to need to be set up." And he gave me his writer. He gave me his writer. So I went back to Harold and I said, "Harold, this is a good idea we have. Why don't we bring in for the musical selection? Let's bring in the Brother Johnson." He looked at me like I liked. He said, "Brother Johnson ain't here." I said, "Look, we got him under the same roof. And they're willing to do it. I need, I told him how much money we needed to get him set up and whatever." He said, "Junior, let's see what we can do. Let's make it happen." So we did it. And so the day of the event, Lewis brought in George's guitars and had them on stage.
He did.
And so George shows up with the limo with about 4 women on his arm, being typical George that he was.
He sure did.
And so they got there about an hour prior. They weren't late like we thought they'd be, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it was a good thing to be able to sit back and say, Harold.
And with all the vendors that were in the convention center, they got to have a concert.
Yeah, because when we did it, we were backstage, and I said, Harold, all right. I said, "Let me introduce you to George and Lewis Johnson." His face was like, "Junior, you did it." And so we went up there and we got a chance to give him a Lifetime Achievement Award. And all of a sudden, Lewis goes and picks up his bass and starts playing bass, and he hands George his guitar. Mm-hmm. And they gave a 45-minute concert, blew everybody away.
They did.
On the spot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it was good to be a part of that. So we watched and been a part of a whole lot of great things here in Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? The Herb Weston era, the Bernard Parks with the tour bus when he was running.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, when we were on tour bus and
watching
the political.
My introduction to real politics.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Stopping by, picking up all these politicians and hearing the brainstorming of we're going to put this person
We
here.
actually were riding all over Los Angeles County all night long. Mm-hmm. The bus left, about 4 o'clock that afternoon. Mm-hmm. We didn't get back until the next morning around 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We stopped everywhere. The Jackie Robinson Club, bowling alleys. We went to TGIF Fridays in Ladera Heights.
They treat him like a rock star. They loved it Bernard. I mean, everybody was like, oh, bowing down. I'm like, dude, I didn't know you had it like that. Mm-hmm. So he was just he was a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Got a chance to meet his wife. Bobby was so pleasant. Mm-hmm. And working with Brenda Marsh Mitchell.
Yes.
And that was my girl. She got us. And then that same next year, Brenda's got us into the Taste of Soul.
She sure did.
Because we were going down to get a booth for Toastmasters.
That's right.
And ended up walking out with a stage.
That's right. And when you came back and said, we didn't get the booth, but we did get a stage. Yeah. I'm like, a stage?
Yeah.
What we going to do, speeches?
Yeah. Yeah, we put on reggae. The first time that they've had reggae.
First time they had it, they never haven't had it since then.
Yeah. And it was a good thing. And I went down to Aronis, whose wife was working there. And so I said, and then Wadala, we met him at Degnan over at the Lamar Park. And me and her slid up one Sunday. And I saw these 2 Rasta guys, and so I slid up, and I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to be pretentious or nothing like this, but we got a chance to have a stage at the Taste of Soul in front of, 350,000 people coming in.
Correct.
And I said, dude, we have a stage, a huge stage. And I said, what I can do, we can't pay you because they're not paying us. But I said, we can bring in and put a booth set up, and you guys can sell CDs, do your things, and advertise. And
T-shirts.
And so he said, you got a card? And he said, well, give me 24 hours. Within 12 hours, he called back. I didn't know who he was at the time, and had 24 acts. Mm-hmm. And so you called up your Toastmasters family.
I sure did.
And
I
called up some of our sponsors and some of our people that we knew, and they brought in food and whatever.
We had food catered in.
Yes, we did.
That was a lot of fun. I got the Nation of Islam to be security.
Yep, that's when they first started. So they were there, and the police was running around there, standing around because they felt like it was reggae, so there would be some kind of problems or just smoking.
We had no problems.
No problems. No problem. And I met another young lady that was trying to get a booth there, and she couldn't get any luck in there. Miss Gay.
Yes.
Yes. And so she's like, well, we're working with young ladies and we're doing this. And I'm like, oh, right on time. I said, Monica, can we bring her into the stage? And so we were able to highlight so many people.
We did.
And we had 20 acts, and we went to one of our girls that's a manager at one of the banks, one of our major banks, friend of ours from Toastmasters too.
Yes.
And I said, we're trying to do this. She's like, well, we can get donations. And so she brought about $1,000 worth of donations. So we were giving money away. And then I went to, now we got to get the hostesses in. So I called up the poetess, and I said, you know what, we got this stage, reggae stage, Taste of Soul. I said, we can show you some help. Can you come down there and MC for us? She says, I got you. Mm-hmm. So she was one of our MCs. It was, man, I just put it all came together. So we had the booth, and so Danny said, I'm going to put you down there by the wave stage because everybody likes reggae, so you're going to have a lot of crowds. So we were down there between.
Right there on Marlton.
On Marlton, yeah. And
Marlton
between the theater, rave,
yes.
and between Macy's parking lot, right there, the whole thing. And Booze had a guy come down doing paintings. I mean, it was laced. It was laced. And so we've done a lot.
I can say that was a huge success.
Yeah, we've done a lot in the city. We've had a lot of doors open for us.
Because after it was all over, I was like, you do realize now we're concert promoters now.
Man, on a major scale. That was good. So, ladies and gentlemen, just showing that if you put your mind right and think about what you want to do, man, God opens doors no matter where you're at. If he needs you to get somewhere, he'll work through people to allow that to happen. Because I could have never paid what they were asking for a stage. I just went to get a little nonprofit booth so we could highlight what Toastmasters can do for your life, and ended up having a huge stage and the equipment, and it was something else on it. So, and they had the banner, they had our Wouldn't Promise banner. Everything was, I mean, it was laced. They didn't play. Everything was, man, advertising, marketing. We went to Spa 313, and they became a part of the sponsor, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know what I'm saying. You gotta dream it to achieve it. And that's what we've been doing since we hit the city.
And you got to market it. And I can't say that enough because a lot of people, they open up businesses, they have these ideas, and they don't market their idea. And sometimes it's a great idea. Yeah,
but they don't.
They don't know how to market it.
No, they don't.
Or either they try to do it all themselves, not knowing, instead of hiring a company to do it for them that specializes in that. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself. You got to take a little money and go hire somebody to do the social media for you, to do the advertisement, because you may not really know what you're doing.
Right, that is true. And so that's what's so special about, down here. And I've talked to the poetess a few times about. And so she is giving from her heart from way back in the day when she came on board and doing the radio aspect and doing the things that she does in radio. And her dad was the same way.
Yeah.
He was a giver too, you know what I'm saying? And they worked him like a government mule because he was all over doing stuff. He was juggling from this place to that place and doing, because he was the best at what he did. And he did the best work. And the same thing is demonstrative to what he's done here, Bill. But you know what I'm saying? He was such a giving person, and she's the same way. She gives. And sometimes when you give, people have a tendency to take. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast. I mean, you're giving, people are going to, that's what we talked about the other day when you come to a picnic and you got some people that all they do is bring Tupperware.
That's why this yin and yang works.
Yeah, because you sure enough to shut it down.
Because you're like, okay, how much you need? And I'm like, snatch, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're like, we got bills to pay down that company downtown. You know what I'm saying? No, but I mean, no, it takes a balance act. Yeah. It really takes a balance act to do business. People don't know how much of a balance act. And oftentimes there are people that are married in relationships, they can't even get a balance act.
That's true.
And so we come along and like I said, and so we can do this and, you know what I'm saying, be friends as long as we've been. And, you know what I'm saying, I don't have friends that long. Because when I start telling them, you know what I'm saying, when I start switching and saying, look, dude, I'm tired of giving and I know you're taking, then they want to act like, you know, well, you have an attitude problem. I'm like, dude, the ride's over. You've been riding my back for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? How much money have I given you inadvertently to it and not ask for it back? Dude, it's time for you to kick rocks. And then they want to make it look like I'm the bad guy or open up different things to people. And they're like, well, why are you quitting now? Dude, you can only ride something for so long.
That's true.
So, you know, not complaining, just stating a fact. Guys, there's some of you out there hearing me right now that have that heart for wanting to give to people. Make sure that there's something in there long range for you. Because you can give of your mind, heart, soul, even in whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a working relationship, whatever, you could end up being upside down. Like they say in real estate, you own a home, and they say, well, you own a home that's worth $700,000, you know what I'm saying? But you owe $800,000. You're upside down. You can't get out of the house, you can't pay the mortgage, and you can't sell it and make your money back. There's nothing good about being upside down. In a relationship, some of you are in a relationship right now, been in there for 20 years, and you're not happy.
You need a refresh.
Yeah, you need to just hit that
jump start.
Hit that start button to start all, or let me travel alone. Just don't, you know what I'm saying? And when I need to get something done, I just pick up to Monica, look, this is what we need to do in the business. And she'll say, well, what's happening over here? Well, you know what? Let's talk about that too while we're at it, okay? What can happen? Well, how can I enhance over here what I'm doing with maybe with my grandson, or she'll say something with her grand. How can we compare notes and kind of bring the best of both worlds and knowledge to help out?
And our people don't do enough of that. They really don't. No. It's hard to get
They'll charge you a consulting fee. Yes. That's what they'll do. They'll be like, how many times have I consulted people and just give them
You'd be a very wealthy man if you got paid for all the consultation you've done.
And they used to tell me game is be sold, not told. Can you believe that? And I used to just give it away. But I feel like this. I can give you all day long. I'm going to continue. God continues to pour in me, and I keep on getting ideas and giving ideas, so I'm not losing nothing.
And then everything may not be for you that somebody's telling you.
Yeah.
But you pull out what you can use.
Right, and put it in your own style.
Yeah.
So in saying that and looking at the holidays, and bringing up Pops, for example, see then, you know what I'm saying, there are people going into this holidays that's in a depressive state right now. Things are happening around them, and they're stuck. So how do you get unstuck? That's a good question. That's that what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I'm saying?
The first thing you do is you open the door and you go out.
Well, you got to be identified. You got to be sane enough to be able to identify what the door looks like. You know what I'm saying? And some people would say, okay, the window's closer. It's clear. You can look at it. And so it's like them birds on the commercial with Windex. It's so clean they fly into the window.
It comes back to you being able to control your own mind, your own thoughts, your own heart. It goes back to that again.
Right.
A lady told me a few weeks ago, she says the first step in anything you do is to first get up and open the door. And most depressed people won't do that. They will stay inside and they will just stay.
Stay in bed or whatever.
In the couch. And they never leave. They don't open up their communication to anybody. They don't talk to anybody on the phone. Nobody's seen them or heard from them for days, weeks. And they don't even realize that they're making themselves worse. Where if they just got up out the chair, put on something nice, walked outside, interact with other people that are not depressed, that could help them. You take one step at a time. You just keep it moving, keep it moving.
Right. Yeah, the concept of the elephant, I'm telling people, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the whole perspective, it's huge. Life is huge.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And then you die.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when you come in the end of the day what you've passed by that normally would have taken you out had it not been for favor, had it not been for the God, or whoever you call it, whatever, that looked after you that day. You'll never know.
That's right.
How many stray bullets might have been with your name on it, but instead of going to the left, you happen to go to the right. You know, or you parked on this side of the parking lot versus over there where it might have been a little darker and somebody got snatched up. People are getting snatched. People is going through craziness all day long.
That's true.
So is it timing? Had they had stepped out of the house 5 minutes later or 5 minutes before, would they have missed that accident? Would they have missed that bullet going by? I mean, who knows what the timing is about?
That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the elephant, the scenario, because you don't know where it's at, where it's coming from. But if you are prepared, then you don't have to get ready because you stay ready. You know what I'm saying? So when you're staying ready, you're looking out for everything about you. You're looking about, okay, what's my family look like? What does my job look like? What does my home look like? You're thinking about all this stuff all the time and making sure that everything is covered, because if you don't come back that day, then what happens? There's people that have gone into probate because they didn't think about putting a living will, and then suddenly something happens to them, they don't come back, and their whole family is just, their whole life has changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Tom doesn't like Betty, Betty doesn't like Sam, and your whole kids are fighting each other. Next thing you know, nobody.
And that's really sad.
Yeah.
But there's so much of that.
So what do? You've got to start looking at getting ready, getting yourself ready, getting your mind right. It starts with your mind.
And you can't be like this. You have to open yourself up to new opportunities. And as the opportunities come, it causes you to get out there and be proactive. And then you're not depressed anymore. Because if you just stay locked up in your house all day, 7 days a week, all you got to think about is your thoughts.
Right.
And the four walls. And that is not helping you.
Right.
You need some interaction. People need to interact with other people. And a lot of them don't feel that way. That's why they go into that depression.
Right.
But no, you have to be able to talk to people. You have to talk to family, friends, neighbors. You need to. That's what we thrive on. And
we're going to find some resources before the end of the show on it for some people that you can go to, because the county's got resources, man. There's facilities that help with about everything now. You know, with homelessness, man. You know, I tell people, you don't wake up one day with your family and say, you know what, I'm tired of this apartment. I'm tired of this house, man. I need some outdoor freedom. And you just pack the whole family up and go and get a tent and live on the street. You just don't wake up with that adage, you know what I'm saying, with that mental state of mind. Something happens to get you there in the start.
Yeah.
Now, what happens from there? You know what I'm saying? If you have your mental facilities behind you, and you say, okay, they're feeding at the mission or feeding at this church or whatever, then you're not apt to go eating out of the trash can.
That's right.
But if you don't have your facilities totally together, then that's food. I don't care if it's on the ground or whatever, that's food.
That's right.
You know, so you can't tell me that a lot of the homelessness is not due to mental illness. And I've never been mentally ill, thank God for that, but you can't tell what people are seeing in their mind's eye.
And a lot of times people have that illness and they don't even realize it. They don't know it, because some are not as bad as others.
Right.
And at some point, especially with women, a lot of times women have had mental breakdowns behind relationships, friendships,
right,
and husbands tripping out there, and they've had a breakdown. They don't know that they've had a breakdown, and it shows in different little things they do and they don't do.
Right.
It just comes out every now and again, but they don't see it. Because I know in our culture, it's taboo to go get help, to talk to people. Right. And then they may not have the right family members or girlfriends or even male friends that they can go to and talk about their situations and problems. But I would love to see our culture get back to the way it used to be years ago, when it was like just one big, huge family. The neighborhood was truly a village.
Right.
Like when they used to say a long time ago, it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village to raise everybody, even adults, because sometimes adults are still needing that village. They need somebody to lean on. They need help. And it's not always about money help or financial help. Sometimes it's just knowing that that person is there with you. That person is next to you. You can talk to them about anything. You can open up about anything. You can share things, experiences. And then you can go on and build things with other people.
Right.
Because what you're missing over here, they have over there. And then you put it together and you've got a huge empire going on.
Right. Got you.
So I long for the days when everybody's family knew each other in the neighborhood.
No, that's right. There used to be a unity. I'm looking at some of the resources. So I'm looking at LA County. If we can look at that up and see some resources we can give them, because I don't want to leave the air without giving some resources to work out. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So you can just pitch in, because you find something a little more than I do, so you can take that time, whatever. But yeah, it's that camaraderie that used to be there, where like in our neighborhood, in our culture, once the kids got in trouble, by the time they got home, then it was almost like an obstacle course, because everybody along the way to do your parents had a foot in your butt or on your neck. And then, because they now, you know, you did wrong today, you did this, this, and this, and they were like, you know what I'm saying? Then you went to the next day, they knew you, I'm going to tell your parents. It's almost like the town crier all the way in. Right. So you got it all the way in, and then when you get there, then the parent, you know what I'm saying, was going to take up from there. But like I said, the things have changed. You know, now, so it was more so prevalent that there were more family conduits.
Yeah,
right there.
It was a lot more families still together.
Right, husband
because
and wife, mom and pops
because
together.
even back then, even if the husband and wife were not really truly getting along well, they stayed together for the sake of the children.
Right.
Because they didn't want their children to have to go through the issues of them separating, divorcing, and going through all of that.
Right.
So they pretty much stayed together, even if they didn't like each other.
Right.
Kids maybe never saw them fighting and doing their thing. All they knew is that mom and dad were in the same household.
Right.
Grandma was somewhere nearby. They had uncles, they had aunts, they had cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just about every house on the block was like that.
Right. And we've come such a long way from that one there.
Nowadays, we don't even know our neighbors.
No, you don't know.
We come out of our house or our condo, we get in the car, go to work, and we just kind of look next door and kind of wave at them and keep on going. We don't know their names.
Yep, you're right.
We don't. And the children don't play with each other because all the kids are in the house now with their fingers doing that social media stuff and the video games all the time. So there's not that camaraderie either where the kids play together. They're outside. Because I can remember going to neighbors' houses after school sometime to have a meal. Mm-hmm. They had kids, and so they'd feed me too. Mm-hmm. And we do the same thing in my house. But see, we don't have that. It's like we don't trust each other as a people anymore. We're so afraid to just open ourselves up to people. And I would love to see that come back. I think that would make our community really strong if we could come back like that.
Well, not only that, but the distrust is just a follow through. Like we always said and heard about the slavery aspect and the Jim Crow fallout aspect and this aspect and that aspect. And although it's years later, we still have that same scenario to where we're suspicious of each other.
We are.
Because we look different. We talk different. We smell different. You know what I'm saying? We walk different. We talk different. Although it's our community, but I don't trust you because you look like this or your hair is like this or I can't trust, you know what I'm saying? Then there's that distrust. And where there's confusion there's no good work. So they love to continue to keep confusion going on. And that's why it's even in the highest parts of the government. It's confusion. Because it's like, okay, look, like we used to play the little games up there when we were younger. Okay, look inside my left hand. And when they look inside your left hand, which is open, then they got it in the right hand over here and switching hands. So it's not like they don't have nothing. Then you say, okay, open both hands. They're not wanting to open both hands, so you'll see something there. But as long as they have something hidden in one of the hands, they'll keep switching it off all day.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of scenario that we're being worked with now and worked over with now. And the younger people are starting to see it, and they already got enough drama in their life with the bullying and all the other stuff that they're going through. Yeah. And then, so where's the distrust or where's the mistrust when some of your family members, you can't trust them? You can't even leave your kids alone with some of your family members anymore.
That's true.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's really come to a state of mind to where, okay, dogged if you do, dogged if you don't.
I mean, how many families really, truly do get together, like, say, for Thanksgiving or Sunday dinners? It used to be like every Sunday in our community, everybody went to church.
Yeah.
And then after church was over, everybody went into this dining facility at the church. Yeah. And they had a meal.
I haven't seen that lately.
I don't even
think
that
they part
do
I haven't
anymore.
Seen lately.
I mean, if it's now they do it if there's like a concert or something special going on, they may do that. But we did it every Sunday.
Them sisters in the church used to burn, and they would have it when we were in the services.
Yeah.
They were back there cooking.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna have to ask some of the pastors about that. The ones that have churches that have the good kitchens or whatever. Yeah. No, that used to be what was there.
And it made us closer bonded together. I mean, because all the families were there, the kids, the grandmothers, everybody from everybody's family. We chit-chat with each other, have a nice meal, have a good time, and then we went back to church.
Right. And the smart part about that is the pastors really look and watch what was going on. They kept everybody quantitatively in the church. Because you went from service, and then you ate and fellowshiped and whatever, and you went back into service again.
You did.
Everybody, and they continued on. And so that was that day at church. When
and sometimes it would turn into a concert, an impromptu concert, because you got a lot of members there that could sing. And so all of a sudden somebody would start singing a song, and you got everybody in the dining room singing. And we would have a great time.
And the kids had their Bible study.
Yeah.
And they had their little kids church.
Yeah.
And so, it was more structured at the time. And no, think about it now. You're right. Who does that anymore?
Yeah.
They don't even feed people afterwards. No, they'll sell you some plates of barbecue afterwards. They got Tom and Joe out there with their barbecue van out there. And they'll sell you something, or fish fries or whatever. But no, it used to be a time when, everything is changing now. Mm-hmm. So when we look at that one, and then we look at some of the others, and thank you for the opportunity to, express our gratitude to the cats like Mr. E.B. Jackson and EJ, was it? Mr. Jackson, who used to go out there with limousine service and give away the turkey giveaways and stuff like that. And some of the others, the mother that's in Compton, I forgot her name, Mama. They call her Mama, but she's giving away baskets and whatever else, and different things that people have gotten and saying, okay, let me do it out of my own.
Yeah, giving back to the community.
But see, it's a shame that we have to do that when we have, a political party that says, okay, we want you to support us. Mm-hmm. Okay, in turn, what are you doing to support us? Mm-hmm. Okay, are you meeting our needs when you see we're hungry, when you see we need mental health, when we need this for our homeless, for the people that are being attacked because they can't pay the high rent. So now you have somebody buying the apartment complex that want to come in there and raise the rent and put everybody on the streets. Mm-hmm. Are you supporting them? What are you doing as a politician that I can't do that you can put your finger on the pulse and bring people to a matter of just saying culpability and saying, dude, this is not right. They were paying $500 a month last month, and now suddenly somebody else comes in there now and rent is like $1,500 a month. This is not Beverly Hills.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So,
and if you notice, there's a lot of those places that are empty. The developers have completed the building.
People out there, and then where they go?
Yeah,
where do they go?
It's opened. Nobody is renting them because they're so high.
Where are they going?
They have fixed it to where you almost 100% have to have a roommate to survive in Los Angeles.
Or more than just for the youngsters, but more than that, more than a roommate.
Yeah.
Them prices now are ridiculous. Yeah, they're ridiculous. Where we're out, they got condos up there, and we looked at a couple, places that we were trying to give people, advertisement for. And I'm like, no, I can't advertise for you, dude, and try to help you out. No, look what you're offering. You got a single here that you're running for $3,500.
Yes.
How am I going to talk to any friend of mine and have them come in there and philosophize to them to get into a single?
Yes.
That's a bed, a bathroom, everything combined on one.
Yes.
And you're going to pay $3,500. Oh, well, look at the building. You're in exclusive downtown. Well, whoopee-doo.
That's right.
But at the middle of time, they're working 24 hours a day to pay for this thing. So how am I helping you and you, my friend, on putting you in something that's going to run your credit? Because if you can't know the bank for it and you walk away from it, they got you sucked in for a 1-year commitment.
And you could have a good job that's paying you decent money in California
and
still can't afford that.
That's crazy.
Because a lot of the people I work with in the aerospace industry, they are roommates.
Right.
They are getting like these 2-bedrooms, and they may have 4 people living in a 2-bedroom, but they have to. And they're engineers, so they're making nice money, but they still can't afford to have their own place. Mm-hmm. And that's really sad because they want to live right by the job in El Segundo, Redondo Beach, Manhattan, all out that way. Mm-hmm. And it's really high out there.
Right.
And you want to be in a nice area. You want to be close to work, because a lot of people don't like to do that commuting. And I get that. Mm-hmm. But if they would just bring the cost of living down, or either bring the salaries up to compensate for that. And corporations are not going to do that. Mm-hmm. So they need to work that out. Right.
It's great. For those just joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a complaint section. This is called foolproofing your life, okay? Because we're getting ready to go into year end. That means what happens after year end? It means a whole new year comes out. Mm-hmm. And so unless you have your mind set and recalibrated, then you're going to get lost going out of the year, and you're definitely not going to be able to miss that step and catch up with him in the new year. Okay? So you got to start now foolproofing everything about you. If it's not working for you, if your job's not working for you, you find yourself constantly at work, man, you're not happy there at work. If you find out, man, your boss is ticking you off 28 hours a day, you know what I'm saying, coworkers that you can't stand, you know what I'm saying, then you got to sit back and analyze this, man. Is this good for me in the long run? Mental health? I mean, can I stand to have the stress and strain that's going to give me a cardiac? Or I'm going to sit back and have a stroke behind these people that are messing with my head? No, I mean, you know, if it doesn't work for you, man, you may say, well, it's a job. Dude, the best place to find a job right now for you guys going into 2020, listen to me. The best time to find a job is right now while you have a job.
Exactly.
That's the best. I mean, God bless the ones that are looking for a job because, you know what I'm saying, maybe a little harder and taxing because you got a lot of, but dude, if you have a job right now and you're not happy with your job, dude, forget what they're talking about as far as they can come back and ask questions, man. You just got to put your resumes in the right spot. And if you get them in the right spot and they like what you're doing now, they'll snatch you there. So you don't worry about what your past company's threatening. You know what I'm saying? I see you out there doing job searching, whatever. You must like this job. Don't let that be an intimidation on you.
Continue to look for jobs. I feel like everybody should always continue to better themselves.
That's what you got to do.
And if you're not happy where you are, start sending out your resumes to all the various companies that you're interested in working for. And it may take some time, but invest that time because it will pay off in the end. And you'll wind up with a job somewhere where you really like it and you're truly happy. And I tell people now, it's not like it used to be. It used to be a long time ago. You got a job, you sat there for 20 years, 30 years, and then your kids came in and their kids came in, and that's the way it was. It's not like that. This is a new generation now. This is a new age. It's the rotation program now. Right. You stay on your job for 2 or 3 years, and then you rotate out into something else, whether it's in the company into a different position or out of the company to a different company doing something different. They say that they're looking at people now and their track record to see if they're stuck for 20 years or if they've been excelling and learning, because they look at that as being progressive.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
See, it wasn't like that a long time ago, but now it is. So if you're sitting at your desk for the last 25 years doing the same thing, you're going to sit there another 25 years doing the same thing. And you're just going to keep earning that little 2% raise that you're getting every year. And you're still going to be in the hole. Where if you had created your own rotation program, and you can rotate yourself about every year, and every time you rotate, don't go into the same position that you're doing. Go into something that's a little bit harder and a little bit more challenging because you're adding things to your resume. It's making you smarter. It's making you more of a person that somebody wants to hire because they see that you have all these skills.
Now, another thing for the job, touching on the job aspect of it, is if you're in a job that is predictive and it depends upon you dealing with the public, and you want to come there and not dress accordingly to your job, you know what I'm talking about, and you know who I'm talking about there, then there's no excuse now. They've got some great stores out there now that have great clothing. And for those that can't afford that, well, I can't afford it. They've got some Salvation Armies that have some upper crest donations going in there now. I've seen some high-scale people coming out of these Salvation Armies now. Depending on what neighborhood you go to, depends on what you can find. But you can find some nice pieces. I know because I go in there to buy a lot of my, glassware. I like just knickknacks that you can put inside of buffet cabinets and china cabinets and whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always looking around and seeing some high-class, high-scale people in there buying blazers and women that are buying some nice dresses, some St. John's or whatever. You're looking like, wow, that's a nice one. Where'd you find that? I'm like, interesting. You know, so it's not for everybody, but you know what I'm saying? You don't have an excuse anymore. You can find some nice clothes. You can find some suits. You can find some dresses, whatever. You can find some shoes to where you can look the part. And, you know what I'm saying, when you're looking the part, you're feeling the part, you're acting the part, then people because you're putting that face forward. We're talking about foolproofing yourself in 2019 and starting into 2020 as a whole look sometime. You got to change your jobs. Sometimes, I'm going to talk to some of you, sometimes you need to change your mate. I ain't lying. You need to change your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It may be a little harder to change your husband or wife. You know what I'm saying? But you did that. God bless you. And pass the biscuit. But no, sometimes if you come in home and you find that when you walk in the door, first thing you want to do is hit the bottle. Something wrong with that picture.
Something wrong with that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, you walk in the door and then go to the refrigerator and you pop a beer with it. I mean, I can understand the relaxing part of it, whatever. But if you're constantly becoming a lush because that person there, or, pothead because that person there, oh, they talk too much or they bug. Dude, check yourself, because that's another way to go into the ER. You know what I'm saying? People will run you crazy because you're dealing with your personality, their personality, what other personalities, and how long can you put up with that? And then you deal with personalities at work. Come on,
it's hard. That's why you got to be born like me. Be selfish. Think about me, number one.
Right.
Because I'm not dealing with any drama.
Right. Well, like I said, you must love your single life. You know what I'm saying?
I love
me. So, yeah. I know, because I'll tell somebody real quick, I'm like, man, dude, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's selfish. That's the first thing I would say. She's selfish. You know what I'm saying? So, no, but like I said, we've done business together. And, when it comes down to the business, as a business partner, you've been the best, because I don't have to worry about it. You have your job over here, and so it's low maintenance. You go do what you're doing, and when it's time to talk about the business, we talk about the business. When it's time to dilly up the bills and get the bills paid, you get that done, and you're out the door taking care of your business, so we don't have to babysit or whatever. That's an ideal partnership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's worked for all these years. And we've got other stuff that we have out there, companies, whatever, that we work with and that we're working on, and endeavors that are good because of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure just working past that one there would be kind of crazy. But other people got to know that you can work with somebody, and it doesn't have to be personal. It can be business. That's sometimes the best way to do it, is make it business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you can make money, I tell somebody, if you can make money together, that's the first start of finding out if you're compatible.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
If you can't make money together, then I ain't got no time to talk to nobody. Because I've never gone anywhere in any store or anywhere else for that matter and walked in there and taken stuff off the shelf and walked out with it. Because I wouldn't be here. I'd be in somebody's jail. That's theft. So if you want to have the good things in life, you got to pay for it. Now, how do you pay for it? Being able to afford what you want, having a great job, having a life to where you have time to spend it. And if you had a job 24 hours a day that you're not happy with, then, or you're not making no money, you know what I'm saying? Or kids that don't listen to you because they're not getting the right school. I mean, there's all kinds of things, even with our kids, man. Making sure that they go to the best schools or whatever. They may not be Ivy League schools.
Yes, but you can prepare them for the world by sending them to a good school.
A good school. Not because it's down the street and you can walk them back and forth to the schoolyard every day. You know what I'm saying? Go someplace where they can appreciate your kid. I know with my grandson, we were at a school, and he was at a very prestigious school, and he came to me. He was like 8 years old at the time, and he told me that his teacher was stupid and that his principal was stupid. And so I had an issue with that. My daughter had an issue with that. But let me tell you something, to make a long story short, 6 months later, we found out that the teacher was stupid and the principal was stupid and no longer they're employed at that school. But he's sharp, and he picked it up. But I told him, I said, Mary, you can't tell grown folks that they're stupid. I said, that's the kind they would find you, you know what I'm saying? They'd push you down a set of steps or lock you in the back of a trunk. You're a baby. If you have an issue, bring it to your mom or bring it to me, and we'll address the issue. You don't have to fight the battle. We'll fight it for you. Guys, listen to your kids.
Yeah, pay attention to them when they're telling
you what's going on in the school. Sometimes you might sit back and say, yeah. No, take the time to listen and kind of decipher what it is, even if you're trying to help them understand what it is. They may not understand what it is, but it looks like this, but okay, this is what you actually...
Parents need to pay attention.
They need to pay attention.
Because although it was a long time ago when my kids were little,
right,
I paid attention to what they were saying, the work they were bringing home. And many a time I was at the school checking the teachers, checking the principals, because they were wrong.
They can be wrong.
Yeah, they were. Because I can remember they were sending the kids home and they wouldn't show them how to do their homework. And they expected me to do it.
Right.
Now, I'm a buyer by trade. I'm a professional buyer. I like to shop. I admit it. I'm a shopaholic. And so what my job in aerospace is I buy government products for the DOD. That's what I do. Still shopping, just using the government's money. So I told the teacher, I said, I'm a buyer by trade. I'm not a teacher. It's not my job to teach my child how to do the work that you are presenting to them. When they come home, they need to know how to do that work.
Right.
Now, I can help them as far as maybe if they miss a little something, I can kind of like edge them along. But it's not my responsibility because I didn't go to college to be a teacher, get a teacher certificate. That's not my trade. So you need to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that many a time with teachers and also with a principal. I had to do that. And he got transferred to another district. So you need to stay involved with your kids and their homework, their tutoring, because you want them to be successful. Because look at it this way. The more successful your child is, the faster they'll be out of your house. Otherwise, you'll be like some of my friends and you'll have 30-year-olds and 35-year-olds still living at home with you. See, I didn't have that issue. My kids were gone by the time they were 18. They were either off to college, they joined the military, or they had jobs, and they were successful.
Right.
I was like, I spent 18 years raising you. I did the best I could. Now it's your turn.
Right.
And they're doing the same thing with their kids. Because I got a couple of them that are in college, or grandkids that are in college already. I've got 2 more that are coming up next year. Well, actually 3 more that are going to be in college. I got one that's traveling all over the world. She's doing that. I don't know what they would call it when they just travel all over the world. They work here and there, like in Europe and different places, enough to make money to survive.
Right.
Then they go to another country and they just keep moving. And she's just enjoying life.
We used to call them hitchhikers.
And she still has her skills.
Right.
She plays the horn. She plays the guitar. She plays keyboards. She plays the flute. She sings now, too. So she can make money doing that, too. And she's enjoying her life.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we're here. It's called restarting. We're just showing you how to restart. Whatever. So if your job's together, your happiness in life, your personal life's together, because you're shaking all these things, man, that are giving you, acid reflux. You know what I'm saying? Then you're doing something. Your kids are in line. We're showing you how to minimize the craziness in your life. Because how can you restart your life? How can you enjoy a good life if you're going through all the drama and you're stuck? We're saying, dude, unstick yourself. Take that first step.
You don't have to have drama in your life.
No, you don't have to.
You chose to have drama in your life.
Or staying, just because it shows up. If you stay there, that's on you.
That is.
Yeah. You better
see, I see drama in my door. I'm going to leave it right outside on the street and close my door.
Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? And call the garbage disposal to come pick it up.
Yeah, come dump this.
Yeah. It's trash on the front yard. You know what I'm saying? No, you gotta look at it like that. Now,
and going into 2020, they should start looking into being positive, giving your life a jump start.
Yeah.
Even if you're married or you're living with your boyfriend, whatever, give your life a jump start. Start with new, fresh things. Whatever didn't work in 2019 is not going to work in 2020.
No.
So change it.
It didn't even work there, so how's it going to be?
Yeah.
And so I found the contact for the Community Health Services for Los Angeles County. For those in Los Angeles, and then they'll show you how to get the other spots. But this one, Department of Mental Health and the Public Health, is 241 North Figueroa Street. Get a pen. Write it down. 241 North Figueroa Street, Los Angeles, 90012. That's the county, Community Health Services for Los Angeles County. And then they got a number 213-240-8040. That's 240-8040. And that's how to contact the Community Health Services for Los Angeles County. Deals with mental health, deals with the physical health, you know what I'm saying? But if you get stuck, you know what I'm saying, in life and you don't realize you're stuck, then you got a problem right there. Look, if your life is not happy, if you're not happy, if you're stressing all the time, you know, if you want to kill folk all the time, these are small signs that you're not happy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you come home and you want to not be there around your spouse or your wife or whatever, your kids, you're not happy.
That's right.
If you want to hit the bar, first thing you do, or you want to go away for the weekend or whatever with somebody else, dude, you're not happy. It ain't about a player syndrome. You're just not happy. Let's tell it the way it is.
You need to fix that problem.
You need to fix
and make yourself happy.
Before it gets into a problem.
You're in control of your own destiny. Take charge of it.
Yeah. before you go to brunch. So we're talking about jump-starting your life for 2020. You got to start now because, man, we're already, maybe 3 weeks before the end of the year. And if you don't have a start now on trying to find that right job, trying to find that money that it's going to take you to survive. Look at what your medical bills will be. Look at what your clothing bills are going to be. Look at what your car bills, insurance is going to be. Look at what your apartment bill, all these bills together. Take one Saturday and put a couple hours in on a Saturday and figure that stuff out and put figures to that. And at the end of the day, you figure out that you don't have enough money to cover that. Dude, you're in the wrong field right there. So something wrong with that picture.
Yeah.
So you've got to start making changes now and get a mindset that's changing because if you're doing, like I said, if you're doing the same thing over and over, trying to get different results, then that's insanity. That's the whole definition of insanity.
And don't make it your New Year's resolution.
Oh, no.
Just make this a lifestyle change.
Yeah. Because if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Affleck. It's a damn duck. Okay? So let's quit playing with ourselves because you ain't playing to those of us that are watching and knowing like, 20 years from now, how you doing, man? Oh, I'm doing okay. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, I hear you. You know, you're still the same place. Yeah, I'm doing okay. But can I get $5 from you? Yeah, that's the same thing you asked me 20 years ago, and you still owe me 20 from last year. Got a 5? Can I hold a 5? No, player. I can show you how to get your life together. Go to church right there. Go down to the Mental Health Society. Whatever you need to do, man, change the position you're at. You know, get the madness out of your life. Like when you're watching television late night and suddenly the station stops airing at the end of the night. Then you hear static and it just goes all white. Yeah. That's called white noise. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. It's not a commercial break. It's white noise. In life, there's all kind of scenarios that give you that white noise. And if you get caught up in that white noise, then that's all you can't hear anything. You're in a vacuum. Get out of that. Be aware of your situations and circumstances at all times. You know what I'm saying? Find some help. Call somebody. Call the County of Los Angeles. We already told you how to do that one there.
And if your friends and family are draining you, find some new friends and adopt some new families.
Yeah, because you don't just because they got your last name doesn't mean that they got your interest at heart. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So you got to find people that are like-minded. You know what I'm saying? When they were saying, Jesus, there's your family outside. He said, who are my brothers and sisters? Those that do the work of my Father. Yeah. Those that are following along the pathway are the ones you want to just something in common. That's what's commonality. Find commonality for the rest of this year and going into 2020. Find something that works for you. And if it doesn't work for you and everybody else is benefiting and you're not, then, dude, that ain't cool either.
You need to change it because I have met some amazing people over the years just by getting away from what I was doing and doing something different, doing something new, just getting out. Like I said, open the door and go out.
Yeah. You got to. So this segment today is rebooting your life, jumpstarting your life, being able to see some of the signs. It could be the family. It could be the girlfriend. It could be the boyfriend. It could be the kids. It could be the job. There's a lot of things that's going to come at you, some overnight, that's going to bring depression. It's going to bring madness. It's going to bring confusion into your life. Find a way to walk away from that one there because your health is your wealth. This is D Nice. And from Miss M, we're saying each and every week, put God first and everything else will follow. We'll see you next time. And tell a friend to join us. See you next time.
Peace.
Heaven must have known that this day would surely come along. Has some angels watching me to make sure that I